Hi, my name is Mark Sierak. I'm a PGA Golf Professional, of which I have 10 holes in ones. But the best golf experience I've had is running golf events for the Folds of Honor Foundation.
Hello, and welcome to the Redirect Podcast, where we have spirited conversations and tell stories about finding purpose in retirement. For us, retirement isn't an ending, it's a beginning. Time to redirect your energy, wisdom, and passion toward new horizons. Whether you've recently retired, are planning for that transition, or are years into this journey, this podcast is your companion in navigating this meaningful chapter of life. Curt, Adam, golf is in the air here in the studio today. We've got lots of tournaments going on. And as you guys know, golf is an activity that I love to do now in my redirected years. Ever since I hired Doug Martin, who's UC's golf coach, as an instructor for me about a year and a half ago, golf became pretty important in my life. I love being outside. I love having uninterrupted hours with friends and crushing that little white ball. That's the competitive side. And I got the time to do it. So, Adam, you're not as avid golfer as Curt and I are, but I want to know what you and Curt like most about the game of golf. And I'm going to start with Curt.
I've been playing golf since I was 10 years old. Had lessons back then. Haven't really had a lesson since, which I need some help with because I want to get better. But when people ask me, what do you think about golf? I say this: green grass, blue sky, white ball. I just love being outside. I love hitting a ball and watching that white ball go up into the blue sky and then landing on the green grass. I love being around socially. I'm involved with a couple of leagues, and it's just a joy for me to get out. And it's such a comprehensive game that it involves every part of your body, unlike I think a lot of other sports, because there's such a discipline mentally, emotionally, physically, and it's so demanding, and it's such a challenge. I want to do well, but you got to play in order to do well, and I got to find time to play more, and hopefully that'll come. But I love the game. It's relaxing to me. It's a walk in the park with some good friends, and we're keeping score when we do it.
And you made that like a relaxing zen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
wish my experience was like that.
Yeah, me too. And I'm supposed to be the best golfer in this group.
You are the best golfer in this group. But, there was an example. I was a kid, and I was playing with my mom, and she was out with her brother who belonged to a real nice country club, and they invited me to come along. And I was out there, and I played the front nine, and I was playing like crap. And I was a young kid, and I was not a good person to be with. I was down on myself. I was yelling at myself. I was slamming my club down. My mom came up to me after the turn, and she said, either you change your attitude or you're going to sit in the car because I'm playing 18 holes. And from that moment forward, it's like, why do I get all wrapped up emotionally and stuff? And when I see guys that I'm out there with that really get a little too carried away with a game, I'm like, let them have their space. But it's like, then I try to bring up, hey, it's great to be with you and all that kind of stuff. See the other value of this game as opposed to, now again, you're playing for money sometimes. So I can understand you, Mark, having some issues with it.
I get it. I've been searching for that as well. And I've gotten better over the years after knowing, how much I actually able to get to play golf and versus expectation.
Right.
Right.
Well, you probably look at it differently.
Yeah.
Because you're coming in at a completely different angle. You're out here to perform to win, while I'm out here to say, hey, I'm not when I was working, I'm not working today. And now it's like, hey, I'm outside with some friends today. I'm playing golf. How great is that?
Yeah. So, it's all relative. All right. It's all relative.
It's a mental part of it. What about you, Adam, our golf resident? Not really.
Not even close. So I've played golf one time in the last 15 years. It was Labor Day last year. My kid, he just loves it. He likes doing it a lot, and he likes me, which is very fortunate. And he's like, "Hey, come with me." And I'm like, "Man, dude, I don't know if you know what you're getting yourself into." And one of my favorite lines of all time. We had a good time. It was nice. I wasn't as tragic as I had been quite some time ago. And I dropped another ball, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to take one more swipe at this." He said, "What are you trying to do?" I said, "Well, I'm trying to straighten it out a little bit." He said, I don't think we're fixing that today.
Good point.
Yes,
good point.
Basically, don't try. It's not getting any better than it was awesome. But listen, I appreciate the game of golf sincerely. I think two of the hardest things to do in all of sports is the goalie in hockey. I think that is a phenomenal expression of athletic ability. Something that small, coming that fast, meant to destroy you.
On skates.
Is remarkable. And then, of course, I fired up the Google machine. The average PGA course hole is 389 yards, according to the Google. Like it's roughly 1,200 feet or just shy of a quarter mile.
Man, I didn't know that.
Where's this going?
Then the hole is 4.25 inches and the ball is 1 inch and 11/16. To take something 1 inch and 11/16, put it a quarter mile away in a 4-inch hole, I think is remarkable. That's impressive. I wish I didn't suck so much.
There's two feelings, now you're talking about that. Two feelings I get so much energy from. One is striking the rainbow trout in a stream fly fishing. When you make that first hit, there's something magical about that. And the other one is pulling out my fairway wood and hitting a ball that just takes off and goes
like in the direction you want it to go.
In the direction you want to go and as far as you can hit that ball. And the feeling you get after those two experiences is something you could make TV shows about, which they do all the time, certainly for fly fishing.
No, it's crazy. When you talk about the length of a hole, the size of the hole, and the size of the golf ball, we look at another sport like baseball, how these guys can hit a 90-mile-per-hour fastball, right? But a ball that's sitting by itself, stationary on a tee, you can't hit it where you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can pull one to left field, you can push one to right field. It is a very difficult sport, no doubt. And playing it for over 30 years, it humbles you every time you tee it up.
And I'm sure you've heard this bit, and I'm going to tell our listeners, if you have a chance, go Google Robin Williams on the origination of the golf game. There's a lot of foul language in it, but get through it. But it is funny as all get out.
It is. And it tells it to a T. Right?
Yeah. Sure. Is it true that the game of golf only went 18 holes because that's when they ran out of scotch in the bottle?
That's what they say. I guess.
This is what I've been lacking my entire time. I need to have a bottle of scotch.
You have to immerse yourself into the sport. That's why we drink when we're out at scrambles.
Instant.
Well, let's get started. Why don't I get our guest introduced here? So today's friend of the Redirect podcast is Mark Sierak. Mark is a card-carrying member of the Professional Golfers Association of America since 2007. Mark's love for golf started as a young teenager, and he has been in the golf world for over 30 years. Mark served as a head of golf professional at Barrington Golf Club in Aurora, Ohio for 15 years, and is currently the co-owner of Optimus Golf in Solon, Ohio, which is a private indoor practice facility that offers membership, private lessons, and golf fitting. Mark was exposed to Folds of Honor, which was founded in 2007 by Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney, who is a decorated F-16 fighter pilot and a PGA golfer. Dale, both of the things that you love to think about doing.
Thank you.
And I even mean that with golf. Folds of Honor is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that provides educational scholarships to the spouses and children of military members who have fallen or have been disabled while serving in the United States Armed Forces. To date, Folds of Honor has awarded 73,000 scholarships totaling $340 million and is now extending their support to families of fallen or disabled first responders. In addition to Mark's golf career, for the last 3 years, Mark has served as a regional impact officer for the Central Ohio chapter of Folds of Honor, and we are so fortunate in having Mark on the Redirect podcast. Mark, welcome, and we're looking forward to chatting with you today.
And
thanks for having me.
Congratulations. Those results from Folds of Honor are so impressive. I'm so honored to have you here today.
It's truly great. It really is to have people all around the country to put that much thought, not that much thought, but how kind they are to military and first responders and spouses that are left behind is truly amazing.
You know, when we were having some pre-conversations, I was getting things confused with professional golfer and golf professional. What's the difference between the two?
Yeah, I remember sitting on a plane some years ago, sitting next to a lady, and, you know, we all sit on the plane, sit next to people, and we talk about things. And, you know, she asked me what I do for a living, and I said, I'm a golf professional. And she's like, oh my God, really? You play golf every day, and you play with, you know, Tiger Woods, and you, it's like, no, I'm a golf professional. Those guys, you know, like the Masters, those are professional golfers. They're getting paid to play golf. Us, you know, there are 25, I think, different classifications of a PGA Golf Professional. I promoted golf with a club, right? I promoted, and now I teach golf. So big difference. You know, a little joke that I do is those guys get paid to play golf. I sell shirts and clubs for a living.
Okay. I get it.
So a little different for sure. But I do compete and play golf though on our local level.
So to get your certification though, as a golf professional, what does it take to do that?
There's a schooling, and it changes. When I went, there's still 3 levels that you go through: level 1, 2, and 3. And each level you have a certain time frame. And when I went, I remember getting my first level of books, and the UPS driver dropping off 2 big boxes of books. There was 13 books you had to get through. And then level 2 was a little bit less. So it's all kind of hands-on experience as well. I mean, it's reading and taking tests, but it's hands-on, is giving lessons and learning about cart fleet management and food and beverage, and learning all the aspects of everything that golf throws at you, whether it be at a facility itself or merchandising in a golf shop and things like that. So there's 3 levels to get through.
When to hit the horn, when you got to get off the golf course.
Yeah. And there is a PAT. It's called the Player's Ability Test that you have to pass to get in. So,
awesome.
And if you're going to be a golf professional, it's not entirely difficult to pass it. But it, you know, there's nerves when you're taking a test, when it's, you know, considering for the rest of your life, you want to do this job. So,
well, that brings me to my next question. You heard us talk about it, and we see golf as an outlet. We see golf as a recreational thing. We see golf as a passion, as something that, like, ooh, we look forward to playing golf. You do golf as a job. Do you still find joy in the game of golf, or are you looking at it in a analytic, strategic, that I need to work on this, that it becomes a work thing as opposed to a expression thing like Dale and I?
Yeah, it's never really a work thing, although, you know, I'm very competitive, and in Northern Ohio in our section, I am one of the better players up there. So it is important to me to try to stay sharp. So it ebbs and flows. There's a lot of peaks and valleys. I mean, there's weeks where, man, I can't miss. And then there's weeks where like, what am I doing out here? What am I wasting 5 hours? I could have done this. I could have done that.
The beauty of the game.
The beauty of the game. There's ups. Like I said, there's ups and downs. My 2025 was just a really, really good year where I was seemingly anytime I played for the most part well. And that's because you have limited swing thoughts. Now you got the mental part of the game that's in there as well. Yeah. So it is very difficult, but I really enjoy to compete. I always have since I was younger. And, you know, there are golf pros out there that, you know, get comfortable in their job, and they used to be a good player, and then they get caught up in job and everything else. And then, you know, it gets tougher for them to practice and play. I decided I really didn't want to be that person, just because it's always been important to me, and I don't want to, you know, if I'm not out on the golf course trying to perform at my best, and it's almost like what am I doing out there in a tournament, sort of thing.
So your role, like, for example, as you said, you did pretty well in 2025. I can understand how that could help you personally when you're giving golf lessons, because people are watching you and like, oh, wow, he's won the last 3 tournaments up in this area. I'm going to go to him for lessons. But does it also help the club? that you're at because you're at the club and you've been winning all these local tournaments that people are like, wow, if he's doing that well, I want to be sort of associated where he is. Is that translated at all?
Yeah.
Or am I thinking about a business world here?
There's no doubt that happens. And when I was at Barrington Golf Club, and I was the head professional there, and when you have good events and, you know, your name's in the paper and print and on social media and everything else, and they see it and they follow you, and they're like, and it's one of those things where, oh, I need to, you know, let's go play, or, you know, give me a lesson or things like that. So it's a marketing, it's an advertisement for sure. There's no doubt.
What do you like most about being a golf professional?
That's kind of twofold. I do love to compete. I've been fortunate enough to, you know, as a golf professional, and if you're playing in tournaments and things like that, you know, you have the ability to go all across the country, really all over the world, to play some really good golf course and to play in some fun tournaments. And you know, you get to network with a bunch of peer professionals that you know, you become friends with, and they're all over the country. So as golf, as big as it is, it becomes small and minute, right? Of how which person you know here and which person you know here. Overall, though, it is the people you meet. When I was a head professional at Barrington, that you become friends with. Yes, you're basically they're 300-year employers, but they become better than that. They become closer to you, and you go on trips with them, and you know you're being invited to their family functions, and they become friends and family. You know, in general, the people that you may not think you ever come in contact with, or you do, like celebrities and CEOs of companies and things like that, that you play in a pro-am with them, and, you know, you have this thought of, I wonder how this person is in real life.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You get behind them
and then you get back there, like, wow, that person's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And no, it's fun, because there are times where, you know, after playing a lot with some of these people that, you know, they're at the top of their game in their industry, right? And everybody wants to be a good golfer, you know. You're like, what does it take? And they play and all the time, and then they play with somebody that's a golf professional, that's a good golf professional. Like, wow.
Yeah.
This is a little different. So the roles kind of reverse a little bit, and the fact that you're enamored by them because of where they are in their industry and how successful they are, and then they play golf with you, and it's kind of the opposite way, which is pretty cool.
It all relates in how much time you spend on it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then those and then those people you befriend, and you're like, I'm playing golf with so and so. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's
so
cool.
I've got to ask this question, because a dear friend of mine who's not with us anymore would always ask this question: best golf moment.
Best golf moment. I was fortunate enough to Monday qualify for a PGA Tour event in 2003. BC Open, which is in Endicott, New York. It was one of the lower end golf events of the time. I think as it kind of went on, it was opposite the Open Championship, British Open.
Yeah.
So I shot 65, Monday qualified. The good part was my dad was with me the whole time. It was cool. And he's no longer, but I remember on the last, I made bogey on 17. I'm like, I probably need to make par here, which is a 235-yard par 3. And my caddy and I, a buddy of mine, I'm like, just give me that 3-iron. I'm just going to just rip it. And I did. I hit it on there. At like 15 feet, two putter for par. I knew that was going to be good enough to get in, and gave my dad a big putt after. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Best round?
64. Best round.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't have anything lower.
64.
That's 8 under par in most courses.
Best round for my 9 holes.
So Folds of Honor has been around since 2007. How long have you been involved?
Been involved. I've been employed with Folds for almost 3 years, but I've been involved before that when I was at Barrington. So go back to even 2007, when Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney started it. We have section spring and fall meetings with our PGA, and Dan Rooney would come in and another Folds representative to talk about Folds of Honor, and usually bring a spouse with them, tell their story and tell how important Folds was. And after you heard that a couple years, it tugs on your heartstrings.
Yeah.
So I knew it was there and knew I wanted to do something with it. So in 2000, fast forward or reverse, 2018, we started a golf tournament at Barrington, which continues to go through till we're going into our 9th year with our event at Barrington.
Who had to make that decision about, hey, this is something we want to do? How did that work?
So as a head professional in a private club, you can't really push out charity to people, right? Because one, everybody's got their charity, and two, I'm not going to send an email to the entire membership to do that. So it was one of those things where it kind of had to be in the forefront of my mind and kind of keep your ear to the ground and see if there was any inkling of people wanting to do something like that. And there was talk about doing something for military, and I had this member go to a Folds of Honor event and he goes, I just opened my checkbook and I said, let's do this. So it wasn't until a member came into my office in 2017 that he said him and his wife wanted to donate to another charity and they wanted it to be military. So it was at that moment I said, let's do a golf outing. Let's do it here. Let's Folds of Honor. Told him about Folds of Honor, and then we started an event that next year.
We will rejoin our conversation in just a moment. Thank you for listening to the Redirect Podcast. We appreciate your support. Do you love what you're hearing? Don't keep it to yourself. Follow the Redirect Podcast on Apple Podcast and Spotify and never miss an episode that inspires your next chapter in life's journey. While you're there, hit a 5-star rating, leave a review, and share your favorite episode with a friend who's ready for their own life pivot. And don't forget to join the conversation on Instagram at The Redirect Podcast. Comment, tag us, and let us know how you are redirecting your journey. Now let's get back to today's conversation. It's an interesting story about Dan Rooney. Can you sort of share that story of how this whole thing of Folds of Honor got started from his perspective?
So Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney was on a flight from Chicago to Grand Rapids, Michigan. He's coming back from a tour, and he noticed a military dressed in his greens in first class, and the pilot got on the speaker and said, "We have American hero on board." And Dan Rooney thought it was, the gentleman in first class. And then it got on and said, we're carrying the remains of Lieutenant Brock Buckland. And his brother, twin brother, is accompanying this whole way from overseas.
Jeez.
So the pilot then gets back on as they land and pull up that he'd like everybody to stay in their seats until the remains are pulled from the cargo hold. So when that's happening, Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney is looking out the window of the plane while that coffin, that American flag draped coffin, is pulled off the plane, and his family's there at the end of the plane, right? And he said nothing got me more though than the young man, his son, at the time, looking in his face and knowing that, he's never going to play catch with his dad again. He's never going to, do certain things with his dad again. And so when that all ended and he wiped the tears from his eyes, he looked back on the plane to see that more than half the plane have already gotten off, nowhere to go. And that's when he knew he wanted to do something and start something for the military, for the spouses and families.
That's a moving experience. I've had, I don't want to call it the pleasure, but I've had that experience happen to me when I was flying, and the honor and the respect that you pay for a fallen American soldier like that. Even being a passenger on a plane, it was a special moment. And there's a movie out there, I think, with Kevin Bacon, where he is assigned to be he's transporting, and he's taking this fallen soldier back to his hometown. And he was a Marine, I believe. And I think he had to be with that casket 100% of the time as, guarding and honoring. And it's an incredible story to sort of feel. I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it because it's such a moving experience. So that hit that hit him hard that he says he's going to do something like this. So he was in the service too, as we talked about. He flew. He was a pilot.
Yeah, F-16 fighter pilot. Yeah, he did 5 tours.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then he's this golf guy like you. Right?
PGA Professional.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So
He tried to play golf for a living. All PGA Professional, not all, but most try to play golf for a living first, then they kind of go back to either a club pro job or something like that. When they realize they spent too much money, they're not good enough, or both.
So do you happen to know how long it took him to sort of get this first opportunity set up or this first event set up? How did that start? The origin story of Folds of Honor?
His first golf event?
Yeah.
That's a really good question. Being he's a PGA Golf Professional, my thought is to raise dollars more through golf events, right? I don't know when the first event was started though.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay.
But I know through time and partnerships throughout the country, there's event here, and then all of a sudden, events pop up like crazy. To now, there's we had a meeting a couple of weeks ago, 536 golf events throughout the country.
536 Folds of Honor golf events.
Wow.
And that'll just
awesome.
grow. That'll probably grow to over 600, I would say, by the year end. Yeah,
wow.
It's crazy. And those go from anywhere from, $2,000 to $800,000, right? As far as donor money coming in from the revenue from those events. And I've been part of anywhere from both of those sides.
Yeah. You're working for the organization now in
Correct.
Ohio,
Yep.
and Ohio has a chapter.
Ohio's actually got 3 chapters.
3 chapters.
Wow.
Tell us more about that.
So there's a Northern Ohio chapter, which I was originally on the board for before I got the job with Folds. Northern Ohio covers everything from Columbus north and then east to basically Youngstown or the Pennsylvania border. And then there's a small chapter up in the northwest corner called American Interiors chapter. It's basically a small Toledo area. And then Central Ohio has Columbus down to Cincinnati and east and west.
Okay. Wow. That's pretty. Now, does each state have a similar type of setup? Are there states that you're not in?
Some of this, a lot of the Northwest, so Washington, Montana, Idaho, we haven't gotten really over there yet.
You're using your sand wedge a lot when you're out there because it's just nothing but grit.
But Ohio's the only one with 3 chapters. So
Wow.
I cover 3 chapters.
Wow. And tell me about making the transition that you're sort of on board with them big time. How is that working out?
It's good. When you mix a passion with a job, and I supported Folds prior to coming on board with Folds. It's easy to tell that story to people, right? Because I'm not just an employee. I was invested prior to being an employee, So it's been a good change. I get to talk to people. I get to be around golf. And I get to raise dollars for the men and women, the 1% that put on their uniforms every day so they can protect our country and our communities for us to sleep under a blanket of freedom each night.
What's the impact like when I imagine you have witnessed many ceremonies where Folds of Honor is making a gift to a family? What's that like?
Well, we see the after of it, really, when at each Folds of Honor event, golf event, for the most part, you have a speaker come in from Folds of Honor, and usually that speaker is a spouse of someone who has lost their other half and left a family behind. And when I'm getting me right now, when you hear that story from them, and when you've heard that story from that person, more times than one, and you kind of know how things happen, what they're going to say, but what Folds of Honor and the scholarship meant to their family, because I lost my loved one. We're leaving. I'm a single parent, 3 young kids that now have to go through school, and then college, and to see the impact that has. And not only how they say it in their tears and everything else, truly, truly get you. And that's really how a lot of people get involved with folds. When they hear a story like that, they're on board. They know that, okay, this is real and the dollars are going to real people.
And that somebody tells that story with every event, you generally have a family that comes forward and tells the story. So storytelling is the powerful part.
It is. And the real, there's one gentleman that, we saw 2 years ago, brand new speaker, and, speaking wise, he wasn't polished on the speaking side of things, but his story was from the heart. And to see what this gentleman went through, he got blown up in Iraq, and, his Humvee traveled 200 feet.
Oh my goodness.
His best friend died and he was spared, but even though they told his wife to need to get on a plane to say her goodbyes, and he was in the hospital for over a year. Number of broken bones. He had to be turned on his hospital bed just to keep because he couldn't move. They had to turn him like in a spit, right? To keep his blood flowing so it wouldn't clot.
Oh my goodness. And
then after that, he gets out and then has, the PTSD issues and, substance and things like that. And for him to come out of that, to tell his story, just truly remarkable. Truly remarkable. It really is.
So when you think about the organization itself, you can see the tournaments, but how else is it funded? Who else gets involved to support Folds of Honor? In addition to, you're going to have a tournament and people are going to pay, a nice price to get out there and honor this organization.
Yeah. So golf tournaments are a big one, obviously, right? Like I said, there's over 500 something, 536 golf events around the country. But it's, individual partnerships, grants, corporate partnerships. And when you look at corporate partnerships, Anheuser-Busch has been a partner with Folds since the beginning, and they've given us $37 million since 2007.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah. It's huge. There are other corporate partnerships. Obviously, $37 million Anheuser-Busch is the largest one. But there are a number of other different companies all across the country that are giving hundreds of thousands of dollars to Folds of Honor each year. So that's a huge one. And it's, it could be in the sense of, you go to a gas station for a roundup. You've seen that at a grocery store or something like that. It's $1.42. Do you want to round up?
Yeah.
A lot of dollars come from that. A lot of partnerships come from that. Products, there are companies that sell products with the Folds logo on it that will donate X amount back to Folds. We have a great company up in Northern Ohio, Sandridge Foods, who they have their own Simply Crafted line, and they donate 13% of their profit from each one of those sold back to Folds of Honor. So,
how many applications do you guys get in Ohio year over year?
In Ohio last year, there was 465, all of Ohio, 465 total qualified applicants in Ohio. And
that feels like a lot.
It is a lot. Mm-hmm. If you look at it, we'll go to the Ohio portion first, and then we'll go national level. Mm-hmm. There were 278 scholarships that were given out in Ohio, and there was 184 that were left unfunded. So there are 184 scholarships gone unfunded in Ohio itself. Now, you look at a national level.
Wait a minute, before you jump into that, and I know you'd love to have every application sponsored. Right?
Correct.
That's the goal, right? What's the process if you only had so many scholarships available? What was the process in order to then find the right applicant to receive the benefit?
Yeah, that goes all through the scholarship department. They have the scholarship department. So the scholarship window opens February 1st, where people can apply, and they go through the website, foldsofhonor.org, and go to the scholarship tab. That process opens February 1st and it closes on March 31st. What other scholarships are you receiving? Obviously, are you financially right? So, what type of disability? All different things. So now when you look at first responders, it's different. Disability is different in different states too. So there's a lot of different criteria that have to be met through that application process
by the state's legal definition of a disability.
Correct.
All right. So tell us the national impact.
So it grows each year, and the fact that, the awareness is growing each year. We had a little over 20,000 qualified applicants last year, and 12,000 got funded. So there's 7,000 unfunded scholarships out
qualified
there.
People,
qualified
applicants,
unfunded,
that don't get those scholarships.
Correct.
So tell us about the scholarships that you give. I chatting with you earlier, I asked you, is this a one-time scholarship or is this something that's ongoing?
Yeah, it's ongoing. It's not a one-time. As long as you continue to apply and you continue to be qualified for it, you'll get it. And that's just from kindergarten through high school, through college, vocational school. There's actually a speaker that I was with last week. Her family's recipients. Her daughter went to cosmetology school, got a scholarship for that. She got a scholarship to go to college. Now she's going to get her doctorate and scholarship for that. So when you see that impact, just like that, when you're getting a college education and now you're going on to higher education after that.
So you're taking them from early all the way through their educational opportunities, potentially, provided they meet the criteria. That's
special tutoring. The same family had special tutoring for their young son.
Now, does that individual that's been from the beginning and has now gone through multiple levels, do they sort of carry a seniority, so to speak, that their scholarship will continue because they have been a part of the program for a period of time?
Yeah. And again, they just have to continue to qualify for it and reapply for it each year.
And that's an annual thing?
Correct.
Mark?
Yeah, February to March 31st. So the window is closed for 2026, but nice to know for down the road type of thing. So it's my understanding, Dale, that you and I are going to be participating in the Folds of Honor golf outing here in the Cincinnati area.
Well,
I cannot wait.
Don't forget me.
You want to play?
No.
See, he's played once in 15 years. He don't want to make it twice in 15 years.
Are you caddying for us?
Ooh.
No,
that would be a good idea.
I think I'm going to be recording from the
Well, we're going to have conversations about
course.
that. Hopefully we can get connected. I've had a conversation with Brent.
Looking forward for you, Mark, and your story. Is this something you think you're going to be involved in forever?
Yeah. I mean, even if I leave Folds at some point in time, and you never know what's going to happen, right? But I will always be a supporter for sure. I mean, it's just something I truly believe in. And how I got started I was in the military. Dan Rooney is a PGA Golf Professional. As military has brotherhood, there's brotherhood there in PGA Golf Professionals. So it was kind of my duty to do something to help another PGA Golf Professional in his foundation for sure. And just, as you grow through time and you become more involved, and obviously now you work for them. I mean, it is pretty cool. But yeah, I will support throughout for sure.
I can honestly say that I'm looking forward to visiting your facility in Solon, Ohio.
Come on over.
And I'll drag all those Nestle people with me.
Come on over. It's a little, it's different there. You pull up, it's in a warehouse. So you look at a warehouse, you're like, what is in this place? And you walk in, you're like, oh, this is different.
So if our audience listeners want to volunteer or try to sign up and get in, how can they get a hold of Folds of Honor?
Two ways. They want to, for Central Ohio, centralohio.foldsofhonor.org. Or contact me at msierak@foldsofhonor.org, MSIERAK @foldsofhonor.org. Easiest way. So we have that event on June 1st there. We also have on following that Friday, the Memorial, we have Folds of Honor Friday at the Memorial, which I'm not.
Wow.
Are you familiar with Folds of Honor Friday at all, or what they do?
No.
Okay, so initiative through the PGA Tours, through PGA Tour, Champions Tour, Korn Ferry Tour. Dan Rooney went to commissioner a few years ago and basically was, the national anthem is in every sporting event across the country except for golf. How do we do this? And get the national anthem, right?
Fascinating.
So that was behind it. And then to get participants, players, and spectators to wear red, white, and blue, give them out folds pins, stuff like that. So on Friday of select number of events, it started with about 20 events and went to 40. I think this year we're up to 65 or 6 or something like that.
Wow.
But it all started at the Memorial a couple years ago. And basically what happened was on that Friday evening when the last player holed out their putt in 18, the speakers came in, somebody sang the national anthem. We had Navy SEALs parachuting in.
Oh, wow.
That's
cool.
I love that. That's
cool.
So these are happening at select golf events throughout the country.
So I appreciate you giving a way to connect. Now, I just want to sort of sum this on up. Obviously, donation, they can financially support. If people want to give to this organization, that's one way. Participating in a golf event is another thing. Can they actually volunteer? Can they sign up to volunteer to work Folds of Honor golf events?
They can. Yeah. And again, same idea. Contact me. I'll put them into contact with the person who's running that event, whether it be, in the state or some other state.
And do you look for people that may have connection within business that say, somebody might be listening to this and say, well, I work for an organization. We love to do charitable gifts. And then they talk with you and then they can become like a liaison in order to help get some additional support financially as opposed to a personal check being.
Correct. And, when we have corporate sponsors and things like that, it's just it's never a one-way partnership. What you do for us, we want to do for you too.
Yeah.
It's how can you're giving back to us. How can we give back to you?
Wow. Well,
awesome.
You've given back to us a lot today. I'm really looking forward to the event on June 1st over at Rivers Bend. And thank you for sharing what Folds of Honor is all about and the great work that they're doing. I'm looking forward to seeing it and experiencing it firsthand.
If you haven't been to an event, that event is a really good one to go to for the first time. Brent does a phenomenal job down there. One of the best events I've ever been to for sure.
Can people come to it just to sort of observe the beginning with the ceremony and such? You don't even have to be a player. You can just be a part of the experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good to know. That's good
Where
to know.
does Folds of Honor happen up in northern Ohio?
Where? We have it at Barrington Golf Club, the place that I was at. Yeah, we do. It is an organized circus. I'll say that. When you see this event at Brent's place, and if you came to ours, it's pretty crazy.
Is that right?
It's how it can go to a different level. I don't know, but we put it on at a different level.
And when is that event?
It'll be Monday, July 27th.
Okay.
This year, and we have a pre-party on the 25th at a member's house.
Okay.
So
well,
it's
if
fun.
we do a father-son event, Curt,
Ooh.
think of that. I'll have Matt, and you can have one of your sons.
Yeah.
We'll go.
That could
it's
be
crazy.
fun.
It's one of those events that we have a good, bad problem in the fact that, it's already sold out before we put the information out.
Well, we know somebody though, don't we, Mark? All right. Well, Mark, thank you again for making the trip here. It's been great seeing you and hearing the story. And again, thank you for all the work that you're doing for an organization that really gives back.
No, I appreciate you having me on.
And as a father of a son who is medically retired from the Army because of injuries sustained, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank him.
And thanks for joining us on the Redirect Podcast. Big thanks to the University of Cincinnati's 1819 Innovation Hub for allowing us to use the eSports recording studio to record today's podcast. Catch up on all the Redirect Podcast episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. To begin your Redirect journey, head over to redirect-u.com. Want to connect with the Redirect team? Feel free to email us at info@redirect-u.com. Remember, there's purpose in your life, so find it and go do something about it.
Hey, I've got one more comment. The Redirect podcast is presented solely for educational and entertainment purposes. We engage in an open, honest conversations about personal growth, life transitions, and the lessons we've learned through our own experiences. While we speak as experts in our own lives, we are not licensed therapists, medical professionals, or certified coaches. The content shared on the Redirect podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the guidance of qualified professionals for any physical, mental, or emotional concerns that you may have. We're grateful to share this space with you and hope that our stories inspire reflection and connection. If you're in need of more support, we encourage you to connect with a trusted professional who can help.